Greetings, monks and lobsters. I'm Kevin, and this is 11 Elden Things in Liurnia. Liurnia is the large region north of Stormvale and Stormhill. This area is gigantic, which makes it very easy to miss stuff, and because my name is Kevin, I can specifically show 11 of these things to you. Anyone else who does this idea will be cursed and flamed. I know you're out there. This video will be focusing on early game things in Liurnia, as in things to do first, so you can expect a late game video soon. Before I get to the locations, I'll brief you on what info I will be discussing, as well as providing a map-only option for those who want a more blind experience. So stick around, spoiler-free gang. So here's the general guidelines for what I cover in these videos. If you're worried about spoilers, you can read the coverage in the description. I will be using some NPC names in this video, but I'm still going to be avoiding heavy lore spoilers. This content will be pretty safe, but for those who want even less information and only want the dots on a map, you can go to this time or click the map only timestamp in the description. You have 10 seconds starting now to skip ahead if you want. Feel free to explore the map there, but for everyone else, let's get to the list. So I'm using the first slot here to briefly overview the area. If we stick to the early game, which means blocking off these areas, there are 2 Everjails, 3 of the 5 churches in the area have Sacred Tears, which is an item that upgrades your healing, 3 Walking Remembrance Islands for soul duplication, 2 of the 3 Rise Towers have Memory Stones, which add magic spell slots to your character, 1 ore tunnel here, which will allow you to get a smithing stone bell bearing, so you can buy crafting materials in the hub for the blacksmith, 2 Erd trees, and 3 catacombs, which this catacomb is the first place I found that has illusionary walls. If you don't know what an illusionary wall is, it's a wall that after you hit, it disappears and reveals a path behind it. There are like 6 illusionary walls in this catacomb. And this catacomb has an important NPC quest item. You can get it by riding a blade trap upward, and then at the end of the path, there'll be an illusionary wall where the item's being held. I'm adding this part here after the fact. If you're worried about missing any important items like weapons or spells, you can be relieved to know that most of the things in this area that are one-time finds will be on some sort of land structure. There will not be items sitting in the middle of the water somewhere, completely distant from any landmass. After covering all of that, let's move to the more hidden things. The second thing I'm going to be talking about on the list is night-based encounters. Heading to these 5 locations at nighttime will reveal some sort of change. After completing these 5 encounters, you'll be able to get the Red Feather Charm, which is a charm that increases your attack when your HP is low, the Ash of War Ice Spear, Ancient Rancor Call spell, the Meat Peddler's Bell Bearing, which allows you to buy meat, the Night Rider Glaive, and the Ash of War Giant Hunt. A note about the Night Rider enemy, what I've found is that if a Night Rider would drop an item that you've already gotten from another Night Rider, you will not get that item. You will get anything else they drop, but you will not get duplicates from Night Riders. The third thing we're going to be covering are prayer and spell books. Going to these 3 locations will allow you to get more scrolls and books, which when given to certain NPCs, will allow you to purchase more spells and miracles. I will note that at one of these locations, you will have to kill this knight in order to get the book, and I'm also going to mention this unnamed camp. Though not necessarily a book, this camp has the Cleanse Me Fire spell, which is a very useful spell that removes scarlet rot and poison. It costs a little bit of health to use because you're technically burning the poison off, but I find this miracle much more useful than crafting and using a bunch of the cleansing blossom items. Definitely pick this one up. Number 4 can be located here at the Church of Vows. There's a chest at the back of this location, which will give you an NPC quest item, as well as an item that will allow you to customize boss level gear. Aside from this, there is also a very cool NPC here, which I believe can learn miracles and sorceries. And they're just really cool. I really like this NPC. Aside from this, there's also this forgiveness well in sort of the middle of the area. Basically, this is the place you can go to request absolution, which basically means if you've hurt an NPC and now they're aggroed towards you and you don't want them to be aggroed towards you because you hit them by accident or something, you've technically sinned and you can resolve that sin if you use a celestial dew inside of the fountain. All sins will be forgiven after a good bath. The fifth thing we're going to be covering here is the Academy Gate Town. I want to focus first on this location here. If you've talked to him before, the NPC Dalios will be at this location, and you can talk to him to progress his quest line. He doesn't give you anything specific here, but you need to talk to him in order to get his story going, so I thought I would mention this location. Aside from this, in the entirety of the Gate Town, you will be able to find the Ash of War Charge Forth and the blue-white wooden shield. There will also be a gold seed, which increases the amount of healing flasks you have. I'll hint that most of these items are towards the left of the Gate Town. Number 6 is located here at the Revenger's Shack. If you completed the quest line in the Weeping Peninsula, there'll be an encounter here, which when completed will award you with a quest item for an NPC in the area, as well as a +8 Banished Knight Halberd. This is a really useful place to mention for what is essentially a free upgraded weapon. The seventh thing I'm going to be mentioning is a particular NPC. This NPC's name is Hyetta, and she can be best described as helpless. She'll move to multiple locations throughout this area up this path, but she'll only move after you've given her a quest item, which is a type of grape. This will not complete her quest with all 4 of these areas. However, it is important to move her along, and so I've marked the locations here so you know where she is. The grapes she needs are not particularly hard to find, but they come in exact amounts, so get picking. Number 8 is here at Rose Church. You can get the Blood Flame Blade spell here, which is a really good buffing item. I use this a lot. It buffs your sword with, I believe, bleed and fire damage. Aside from this, outside of the church, the NPC Vare would be here, which if you don't remember who Vare is, he's the guy at the start of the game who tells you that you have no maidens. If you've beaten the big boss in Stormvale Castle and you've gone back to talk to him, he should leave and move to this location. When you talk to him here, you can progress through his quest line. He'll give you some consumable items which allow you to invade other players. After using these items 3 times, you'll go back and talk to him, and he'll give you a permanent version of that item. He'll also give you some other things that are important for his quest, but I won't go into too much detail to spoil things. Number 9 is located here to the northwest. Here you will find a blacksmith NPC, which has a connection with someone you may have seen before on your journey. If you talk to Blod in Mistwood and then helped him on his quest here in Limgrave, he'll tell you to go visit his friend in Liurnia to hook you up with something good. The friend in question is this blacksmith. If you let him know that Blod sent you, he'll hook you up with the option to buy the Carrion Filigreed crest, which is a useful charm that decreases the FP cost of your weapon skill arts. It really is very useful. Number 10 can be found here at the Boiled Prawn Shack. The NPC at this location has a shared quest line with another NPC not too far away. If you talk to the woman to the south, she'll tell you that her necklace has been stolen and she'll ask you to retrieve it for her. The thief in question is a man named Bogard, who will be cooking shrimp at the shack. You can buy the necklace back off of him and return it to the woman for a reward. Make sure you don't kill this guy. Although he is a thief, if you talk to him again and buy his shrimp, you'll become friends and his questline will move forward. I've never met someone with a taste for prawns I couldn't trust. The 11th and final thing on our list is the town located here underneath the inaccessible cliff. This town is pretty hidden, but reasonably important. First, you'll be able to get the Ash of War Vow of Indomitable for your shield, a crystal sword, the Crucible Knot Talisman, which increases headshot damage, Ivory Sickle, and a key item. More importantly, in this town, you'll find an NPC disguised as a pot. Talking to this NPC will begin a quest connected to another NPC located at the end of this cave to the south. It is very important to do everything you can with this quest before going too far, or these NPCs will die and the quest will fail. Plus, you get a cool spirit summon. So that was 11 Elden Things in Liurnia. I did my best to focus on things you should do first in this video, rather than divide Liurnia up into uncomfortable segments. A lot of the things here are clearly NPC related, but they are very unique and valuable. For those who skipped ahead, here's the map. This video was focused only on the early things to do in Liurnia, so you can expect a separate video for Raya Academy and late game Liurnia as well. Sorry it took me so long to make this. If you have any feedback you'd like to share with me, let me know. It's very appreciated. But yeah, thanks for watching. Remember to feed Torrent, praise the ring, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.